Right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first of 3 live prediction shows for Fatal Fury this Saturday, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Of course, Eubank Ben headlining the card. We'll come to that a little later in the evening as a lorry drives past JFT. Parking lot diaries as usual. Delighted to be joined by JFT, Liam, the regulars, and Mr. Chilltown Boxing's in the building as well. Hope you're all doing well, boys. We'll start with Liam Smith against Aaron McKenna. I nearly said Tyrone McKenna then. That nearly just rolled off my... that would be a bit of a mismatch, wouldn't it? Bless Tyrone. But no, Smith McKenna, it's a bit of a crossroads fight, boys, has to be said. McKenna, 25, I believe. Beefy's 37 now. He's been around for a long, long time. Of course, former WBO champion at 154 pounds. Feels to me that the matchup's being made for a bit of a springboard for McKenna to kind of get the Liam Smith scalp on his record. Beefy, we haven't seen him since his rematch with Eubank Jr. That was a long time ago now, 2023. Didn't look himself in the rematch. Obviously got a great victory over Eubank in the first fight, the only man to stop. Eubank, of course, is in the main event. So, yeah, boys, the floor's yours. I'll take it up to Liam Tully to kick us off. Give us your thoughts and then give us your prediction, boys.
Yeah, look, mate, you've summed it up perfectly. We hear it all the time in boxing, the crossroads fight, and this is one again. Look, the up-and-coming, untested, unproven Aaron McKenna going in against a very well-respected former world champion that's been there and done it. Something that you said a minute ago is using Liam Smith as a springboard. The last fighter that tried to do that was Jesse Vargas. And look what happened to Jesse Vargas. Liam Smith produced one of his best performances, probably besides Eubank in recent years, to stop Vargas that night. And the question for me here is, can Liam Smith do it again? Look, we've not seen him since September of 2023. He pulled out last September against Josh Kelly, injured, didn't he? He was injured going into the Eubank rematch because that fight was pushed back about 6 weeks. Have all those injuries start to take their toll? It's another 7-8 months down the line. If his body's healed and he's had a good training camp behind him, then there's nothing to say that Liam Smith can't produce the magic one more time. I mean, Callum Smith on the 22nd of February card, that's the springboard, isn't it?
Yeah,
we watched Callum save his career, in his own words, didn't he, by beating Buatsi. Liam's looking to do something similar here. Liam knows if he wins, he goes on. If he loses, he probably has to have a long, hard look at himself and more than likely retire. So that's the questions to ask. In terms of Aaron McKenna, look, we're going to find out a lot more about him. If he can handle Liam Smith's style, if Liam Smith is still the fighter he has been in the past, then he's got the power and he's got the boxing ability from what we've seen to cause Beefy problems. But I just wonder if it's coming a bit too soon for McKenna. Yes, it may be some Brit bias coming here, but I think Beefy Smith's stoppage in round number 10 is where I'm leaning
Beefy
towards.
stoppage for Liam Tully. Big up to Jams at Red Corner Boxing in the building. Hope you're well, mate. Beefy by split decision for Jams. We've got 2 Beefy picks, JFT. Where are we going, my friend?
Right, so I know the Smiths. I know Paul more than the other brothers, so that it's it's not biased. But the reason I'm mentioning that I know them is I know how they work, and the Smiths come as a collective. Yes, the individuals box, but they're a team. And if Beefy didn't have what it takes to beat the likes of somebody they think like McKenna, then this fight won't be happening. There's no way that Liam's going to turn up for a payday. He doesn't need the payday, right? He's a former world champion that's had very, very big fights on big stages. Exactly. He's fought Munguia, Canelo. He's had some big fights, few headlines as the champion. So he's not doing it for the money. He's doing it because he feels he still can. I think the good thing for Liam, even though he's 37, is he's never really been one for high output in terms of punches thrown. He doesn't manoeuvre around the ring a lot. His footwork's not necessarily fast, so he preserves a lot of energy. So he don't really need to be, and this is no slight on McKenna, he don't need to be the Beefy of 10 years ago, I don't believe, to beat McKenna. McKenna's meant to be this, marauding, concussive punching prospect, but he's been that for 4 years now. Right, and for me, he hasn't boxed anybody of half the level of Beefy. If you look up and down his resume, he's fought some decent kids, but he hasn't fought anyone great. Liam's fought great fighters for the past 10 years. He's had very few domestic level fights other than when he was going through the domestic scene at Commonwealth, British, European. WBO international, and then he's only lost to top level fighters. No mid-range fighters or fighters on the slide have beat Liam. We've got the Eubank Jr. He's probably his worst loss, and we know that he
He's
wasn't
robbed in
100%.
Russia as well. Do you remember when he was robbed in Russia?
He got robbed in Russia. Now this will contradict what I said about the team not letting him go into a fight ill prepared. They had no choice in the Eubank fight. The money was that big, right? And he'd already postponed it once. Because he stopped him, they thought that he had enough injured to beat Eubank again. That didn't work out for him. I just feel that a Beefy at this stage in his career is still way too much for McKenna. I've not seen anything out of McKenna to make me think, other than catching Liam dead in the first round and knocking him out, that for me is his only chance of winning. I don't see him outboxing him because Liam will sit on his chest. McKenna fights at range. His right hands that knock people out come off the back of a jab. Liam's not going to give him that length and that distance to do that. So he's not going to be able to get off his best shots, which are the power shots. I see Beefy getting to him and stopping him to the body round 7.
Well, interesting.
TKO.
2 beefy stoppages so far. Jams at Red Corner Boxing. I rate both McKenna's highly. We saw what happened with Stevie versus Lee Cutler. We did. Absolutely. Good point. Even the DJ Pat, hope you're well. Beefy knockout as well for Pat. He knocked out Eubank Jr. as well, and Aaron's best win was against Lima. That's brilliant. We've got Chilltown Boxing all the way from the US on the East Coast, my friend. Hope you're well. Give us your thoughts on Beefy and McKenna.
That Lima win, by the way, aged very well. Lima is a very tough fighter. Yep. But let me say this, like something that no one's touching on here. Liam Smith is not a 160-pound fighter. He should be at 154. He's undersized for 160. He's only had 2 or 3 fights at 160. Aaron McKenna is a very big 160 fighter. He's fought at 168. They're going to be a weight class apart going into this fight. Yep. In the thing with Aaron McKenna, nothing wows you about him, right? He's not some boxing savant, but what he is stylistically could be a disaster for Beefy because they're 2 pressure fighters. When you got 2 pressure fighters, they're going to meet in the center of the ring. I'm going to say, McKenna's going to be stronger here. He's probably got a lot of power in both hands. He's the natural 160, a big 160. He's going to have youth on his side. He's undefeated. This is his world championship fight. It's going to be 12 rounds. Liam Smith's coming off almost 2 years of inactivity, off one of the worst beatings. That fight should have been stopped a lot earlier than what it was. After he got dropped in the 4th round by Eubank, he just took beating after beating, round after round. I think this is a very, very tough fight for Liam Smith going into with Aaron McKenna. It is going to be a dogfight. It is going to be a war, and I'm not going to take the old dog in this. I got Aaron McKenna probably drowning Liam Smith late. I don't think Smith's power is going to be all that at middleweight. I know it's not all that at middleweight. And Liam Smith is in tough fight after tough fight. Don't forget the Liam Williams wars. Those were dead even against Liam Williams years ago. Don't forget Anthony Fowler. That was dead even. Even the Kurbanoff fight. Yeah, he got robbed, but Kurbanoff, that was a close fight. Kurbanoff then went to fight Johan Gonzalez. He robbed Johan Gonzalez still. Johan Gonzalez that just went to war with Jarrett Hurd. Like, he's not dominating opponents, Liam Smith. He is not. He's always in close fights. Now, if you're in a close fight with Aaron McKenna, with the youth and the size and everything else is in Aaron McKenna's favor. I don't care about the experience. When you're 37, look, I'm in my 30s. Things start to break down. You're not like you're training when you're in your 20s. I think this is a tough fight for Smith. So I got McKenna.
Okay, then Chilltown Boxing. Thank you. Aaron McKenna, late stoppage. Ryan Hong's in the building as well. Hope you're well, Ryan. Feel like whoever wins this fight going to be a blowout. It's not going to be close either way. McKenna's resume complete fast compared to Smith's resume. Smith has anything left in the tank. He should win. Here's where I'm at with it, boys. Liam Smith is tough. Liam Williams, absolutely love watching Liam Williams fight. Here's where I'm at with it. I know, Jay, you've got a relationship with the Smiths, so you know them better than what I do, just viewing them from afar and on YouTube and all that jazz. But all the feedback you ever hear about Liam Smith now, whether it's in the gym or just from his brothers or his training, we all know he's one of the most stubborn people that there's ever been in boxing. You hear about it all the time. He's the one that would be the angry one playing football on Saturday, and that's his position in the Smith family, and that's his position. If picking up on what you said, Jay, especially with the kind of tight knit group they're in Sheffield last week with the Jarko, because Swifty trains him. he wouldn't be here if it wasn't there. You know, yes, I agree with the inactivity, and that is a big question mark about Beefy. I think heading into this, as you said, Chilltown, he hasn't fought for 18 months, 2 years, whatever it is, since the Eubank fight. What has he got left? We'll find out. But as Ryan said, for me, if Beefy's got anything left in the tank, and I mean even 70% of what he can probably do, I do fancy him to beat McKenna on points, and that is my official prediction. But there's a heavy question mark over where he's at 37. I genuinely believe that, and that's the intrigue in the fight. I feel like if this fight was 3 or 4 years ago, where Beefy's at and McKenna's where he's at now, we probably wouldn't really be having a conversation about where it's at. But the fact Beefy is inactive, you know, he didn't look great against Eubank, was carrying injuries, it has to be said. But yeah, we don't have a clue where Liam's at. McKenna's young, hungry, upcoming. As you said, Chiltan, this is his world championship fight on Saturday night. I'm with Jams. I think it's going to be really close. I think it's on the cards. I'm going to pick Beefy to get it using his experience, but I'm not going to rule out the Irishman either. I think it's going to be a great fight. Big up to Mad Mitch as well. Hope you're well, my friend.
Evening,
with that said, I still think McKenna wins. Right, Ryan's got McKenna as well. Always played soccer after his fights on Sunday. Did Beefy? Yeah, loved it. He's some character. He is. That's brilliant. So Ryan and Chiltan are on McKenna to win. The rest of us have kind of picked Beefy, but we'll see how it plays out on Saturday. Going to be a good fight. Thanks for joining us, those in the chat. Thanks to the panel we've got on here. We'll be back shortly for Lyndon Arthur, Anthony Yard, the trilogy, the one that nobody asked for. And we'll give our thoughts on that. Cheers, guys.